Hey guys, tonight we're diving into a world that feels like it just stepped out of a dark fantasy novel. But sadly, it's all too real. Picture yourself in the medieval era, surrounded by muddy streets, stone buildings, and their unmistakable scent of livestock. You think your morning commute is rough. In this time, people had to navigate their days with very little comfort and a whole lot of drama. Spoiler alert, you probably won't survive this. But hey, survival isn't everything, right? So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. I'd love to hear where you're tuning in from and what time it is. Maybe I'll send you some medieval luck. Now, dim the lights. Maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. As you settle in, imagine life before the imposing castles dominated the landscape. The reality for most medieval women was far from glamorous. In fact, life could be brutally harsh. You wake up before dawn, not because you're a morning person, but because the weight of chores pulls you from your dreams. The rooster crows, an alarm clock with no snooze button, and it's time to face the brutal truth of your existence. Bread waits to be baked, sheep need tending, toddlers are wailing, and that's before breakfast. For women during this time, every single day felt like a workout, minus the cozy yoga studios and post-sweat lattes. Here's a fun fact. Did you know that women were responsible for a significant portion of the labor? It's true. They worked right alongside men in the fields, picking up the slack, both indoors and out. Historians estimate that women contributed about 70% of the agricultural labor in some regions. It's a wonder how they managed to balance the demands of both field and family while sipping on what we'd imagine now as an all-too-comforting cup of tea. Although, let's be honest, it was probably more like a handful of herbs steeped in whatever was at hand. You finish your morning routine, if you can even call it that, and head out for what feels like the longest day of your life. Modern life complaints about the grind seem like a minor inconvenience when faced with the fact that medieval women were often expected to marry by the age of 15. That's right, lovebirds. While you scroll through dating apps and find yourself ghosting or being ghosted, poor medieval women were being married off as soon as they hit puberty, often to men much older than themselves. In fact, some brides could have been as young as 12. Historians still argue whether this was an acceptable societal norm or an outrageous violation of childhood. And let's talk about marriage for a moment. Not as a romantic venture, but as a strategic alliance. Families would often negotiate these unions with the same fervor as a business deal. Love was about as relevant as a one-legged stool. If you wanted to record a happy Tinder tale, medieval times would not deliver. Instead, you find yourself thrust into a life of obligation, some dowry arrangements, and potentially more than your fair share of disagreements about household space. Imagine walking down the aisle, adorned with nothing but family expectations, while the scent of freshly baked bread wafts from the village bakery. We can only hope that your husband has a soft spot for new recipes and isn't just looking forward to a competition over who can grow the best turnips. The negotiations over the wedding feast would be just as important as the vows. A grand celebration ensured a stable alliance, but also came with scores of relatives who would undoubtedly have an opinion on your new marital setup. And speaking of setup, your domestic life is a whirlwind of responsibilities. Are you ready for this? A day might involve churning butter, sewing clothing, foraging for food, and, if you're lucky, gathering wildflowers in the afternoon sun. Though romantic in theory, in practice, these types of tasks were grueling. Your hands are perpetually rough, calloused from work, as you literally sow seeds for the next generation. Almost like life's dire version of a game of Monopoly, where your job is without paid breaks. Now, let's throw in a quirky tidbit. Childbirth during this time was often a deadly gamble. It is estimated that 1 in 4 women died during childbirth, and for those who survived, postpartum care was nearly non-existent. Picture an unyielding cycle, where even the strongest body must prepare to battle nature's fiercest challenges, all while clad in a dress that's essentially a coffin of discomfort. Historians still argue about the factors that contributed to these alarming statistics. Was it poor medical knowledge or simply the overwhelming dangers of the times? On top of everything, women weren't just nurturing life, they were often healing it too. While physicians were predominantly male figures in society, many women practiced folk medicine and were known as healers or wise women. These roles were both revered and reviled. You could be a beloved figure for your knowledge of herbs, or a target of witch hunts so fierce that your life could pivot on someone's snarky remark. Just imagine for a moment if #blessed had a medieval equivalent. But wait, there's more. If you think you've had a challenging day, consider life in the home during a plague outbreak. As disease swept through the communities like a bad rumor, survival required unyielding resilience. You were left unsure whether you were guarding your loved ones or simply preparing for an inevitable tragedy. Your heart sinks with every cough you hear echo from the village, and it was hardly a time for sleepless nights too. Insomnia was a normal gap in the fabric of life, along with damp weather and terrible food rations. As you envision these stark contrasts around the daily lives of medieval women, remember, it wasn't just about maintaining the household or raising children. They were the backbone of society, often unrecognized. In many cases, you are still asked to feed the family, mend the clothing, and fetch water, all safely tucked away in the endless cycle of chores that feels impossible to end. It begs the question, where was the break? With all this in mind, take a deep breath. You may just feel grateful for your modern conveniences, perhaps even nostalgic for the luxury of using a washing machine. Despite the grim headlines of medieval life, women's resilience remained a powerful force, propelling a society that often overlooked their contributions. As you drift deeper into sleep tonight, think of their strength, their trials, and how these echoes of the past continue to fashion the narrative of survival against life's endless tide. As the day marches on in this tumultuous time, you can feel the weight of expectations pressing heavily on your shoulders like an enormous woolen cloak. The sun hangs low in the sky, casting an orange glow over the fields as you plow through your chores. Your labor is endless. You're gathering herbs by the roadside, ensuring dinner is on the table before dusk. In fact, food preparation could be considered an art form, but not the kind that gets people clicking like or sharing on social media. Instead, it's filled with the anxiety of whether tonight's meal will satisfy the raging appetites of your household. You can practically hear those medieval stomachs grumble with anticipation. But let's pause for a moment to chat about the agrarian society you inhabit. You've likely realized that life revolves around the agricultural cycle, from planting in spring to harvesting in summer. It's that inch-deep soil that sustains families. And as a woman, you play a vital role in this ecosystem. You balance crop rotation with childcare and the occasional bout of woodworking to fashion new tools. If it seems astounding, remember that your hands, not just your husband's, are equally capable of wielding a hoe and nurturing seedlings. Did you know that about 1/3 of the population consisted of peasants, and they were, hold on to your hats, major players in the survival of entire communities. Yes, people lived off farming but also foraged. So between the daily grind and the art of survival, there was little time to reminisce about a carefree youth. Historians still argue about the specifics of women's roles in agrarian economies. Were they partners alongside men, or mere appendages of their labor? Your sweat and toil, however, suggest the former, quietly weaving a narrative of strength that challenges those historical debates. However, this palpable strain is not just physical. It seeps into the fabric of your emotional landscape. As the sun dips below the horizon, an unwelcomed fear hovers, the threat of violence. Though men typically were the physical enforcers of law and order, violence could erupt in any home. Domestic abuse wasn't an isolated issue, but a widespread reality for many women. You maneuver through a societal labyrinth full of power plays where even the slightest misstep could lead to dire consequences, ranging from an unkind word to physical altercations. It's not easy to concentrate on whether the turnips are going to thrive when your heart races at the thought of stepping into a room after an argument. But wait, there's even more. In a society obsessed with propriety and norms, women lived in the constant shadow of public scrutiny. Now, if you're trying to understand how one could be both a healer and a suspected witch, it all boils down to the perilous tightrope act that life demanded. Imagine something as mundane as a bad piece of fruit leading to accusations that spiral out of control. When societal pressures are high, something innocuous can turn sinister. The witch trials were frightening spectacles, fueled by fear, ignorance, and often personal vendettas. You might find yourself on trial not for your actions, but for your existence as an independent woman. Truly infuriating when all you wanted was to brew the best herbal remedies and provide for your loved ones. Trading whispers in village circles and the unrelenting fear of being labeled a witch add to your stress level dramatically. If you're not taking care of the hearth, ensuring all your kids stay healthy, you're dealing with societal judgments. Heck, it was essentially a part-time job on top of your real work, ferreting out every rumor circulating about you or your family. Moreover, every time a sudden ailment struck the local children or crop failure rocked the neighborhood, you could be the scapegoat in no time. The chorus of "Who's to blame?" could lead straight to your doorstep. Speaking of health, here's an eccentric tidbit to lighten the mood. Women often relied on remedies that would scare health bloggers in today's world. From using blood from sheep to concocting potions with sprigs of wild clover, these so-called treatments could range from the ineffective to the downright bizarre. Historians still argue about the effectiveness of these home remedies versus traditional medicine. Were women simply resourceful, or were they paving the way for medical understanding in future generations? Your role as a healer might not have garnered much respect then, but it laid the foundation for centuries of female contribution to medicine. So picture this. You find yourself collecting your herbs at dusk as the wind rustles through the trees, your hands stained with the day's hard work. You think back to the countless women who have walked this same path, many of whom never had the privilege of this moment of reflection. In this moment of solitude, you do your best to appreciate the tranquility, even as distant sounds of your neighbors argue over something as trivial as who makes the best bread. The camaraderie of shared hardships creates invisible bonds that might be fragile but persist through life's trials. At the end of the day, you gather with your family, sharing whatever meager fare you manage to scrounge together. A simple piece of coarse bread, maybe a small portion of stew, or if you're lucky, some cheese if the cows are feeling generous. As conversation flows, the stresses of life melt away just a bit, and laughter fills the space like the soft flickering of light from a fire. You relish these moments amidst an existence that often feels like a trial you never signed up for. It is here you understand the weight of shared struggles and support. But just as the laughter reaches a pinnacle, a sharp knock at your door invites tension back into your space. It's not unwelcome visitors. You can feel the shadow of fear just beneath the surface. Will it be a wandering traveler seeking shelter, or maybe something worse? Word of a family member accused of something unfounded, a spattering of conflict threatening to erupt. You can only hope for the best, and as you lean in to listen, you remind yourself that strength lies in resilience, in the shared warmth of friendship, and the undying hope for a brighter morrow. Throughout all of this, you're reminded that though life is brutal and the stakes often high, it is the choices you make in the darkest grace that shape who you are. As the echoes of the day fade into the quiet of the night, drifting into your dreams won't be so bad. You'll find comfort in knowing that the perseverance of women before you has created pathways toward futures you may never see but hope dearly for. Holding on to that dream, you begin to slip into a gentle sleep, contemplating the promises of brighter days ahead. As you drift into a slumber, the heavy weight of medieval worries slowly melts away. But it doesn't completely vanish. Your night is peppered with dreams of resilience, community, and an unyielding spirit. Yet the morning sun peeks through your cramped window, rousing you prematurely from a dream where you finally mastered the art of bread making. Golden Loaf 101, perhaps. The new dawn brings fresh responsibilities that shake you awake faster than any rooster. You stumble out of bed, feeling the coolness of the stone floor against your feet, the chill a stark reminder of the world waiting outside your door. Your tasks await. As you stretch, you remember that today is market day in the village. It's an event filled not just with trade, but with an unspoken sense of camaraderie and perhaps a hint of excitement, mixed with anxiety as you prepare your goods. This is your chance to barter, connect with neighbors, and lay your burden down, even if just for a moment. As you pull together your wares, a handful of herbs, perhaps a few homemade crafts, and if you played your cards right, a little bread, you prepare for the social dance ahead. Everything feels a bit heavier when you think about the exchanges that lie ahead. What if no one wants to barter for your goods? You give yourself a mental pep talk, reminding yourself how your skills, however unnoticed, enrich your community, much like sunshine after a long storm. The market unfolds like a tapestry woven with vivid colors and lively sounds. Vendors shout their wares, children scurry between stalls, and the air is thick with the scent of fresh produce and slightly questionable fish. While men dominate the spaces here, you observe that women have their own coveted areas, the medicinal herbs, fabrics, and simple household goods. It's a curiosity to think that even here, women forge a path in the economy, each transaction a tiny act of resilience. Did you know that in some areas, women held economic power that rivaled men? With enough skill in crafting or selling, they could carve out a respectable income and even, gasp, sometimes have a say in household decisions. It's a surprising revelation in a world where property and titles are almost exclusively owned by men. Historians still argue whether these economic activities genuinely afforded women more autonomy, or if they were still shackled by societal norms. As you start bartering, there's a special kind of magic in the air. A fellow woman vendor eyes your wares with interest, and as you exchange goods, a bond is formed, if only for a fleeting moment. As you haggle, armed with the confidence of a seasoned saleswoman, you feel the empowering rush of being part of something greater, even if only for today. It's a trade of not only goods but stories. You exchange news about the latest gossip at the well, share laughter, and marvel at the patterns in a brightly woven cloak that has seen better days. If you find your stomach grumbling amidst all this, a hodgepodge of vendors offers food. A tantalizing smell of roasted chestnuts, fresh fruit, and warm pastries delights your senses. If fate smiles on you today, perhaps you'll trade a few herbs for a freshly baked roll or a slice of cheese. It's not just food. It's a morsel of joy that punctuates your long, laborious days. You gawk at the man selling pastries, half wondering if his creations are made with real butter or some cheap imitation. Though to you, in this moment, it matters little. As your goods dwindle, you notice a commotion by an unattended stall. The crowd gathers, voices raising in shock and anger. An accusation rings out, a young girl charged with theft. Mere bread pulled from the table in desperation. The sight is gut-wrenching, plain and simple, making you reflect on your own struggles and motivations. The girl's mother weeps, her eyes stark with fear and disbelief. The lady manning the stall, a formidable figure, leans over the young thief, demanding restitution as the crowd silently judges. You are reminded that in your world, both grace and ruthlessness coalesce too easily. This moment resonates deeply. The vulnerability of women, mothers, and young daughters in an unforgiving society. It strikes at the core of your heart. It's not just the theft, it's a representation of the desperation felt by so many. Historians still argue about how poverty in the social system enabled such widespread deprivation. Was this girl a criminal or just a victim of circumstance? You ponder the unspoken social contract held tightly to the chest of every community member. The false promise of security weighed down by unyielding economic ties. With the market day coming to a close, you wrap up your own transactions, savoring your little victories. Some bread here, a few herbs traded for a precious piece of fabric. As you weave through the throngs of people, the sun begins to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. You feel an echo of solidarity as you float through the crowd, a swirl of stories and struggles collecting all around you. On your journey back home, with your small bundle of goods clutched to your chest, a new worry emerges. Will your husband appreciate your efforts today? Will he recognize the toil it took to trade these crafts? Will he support your dreams of perhaps someday owning your own stall? A dream crushed beneath centuries of tradition. You can feel the tug-of-war between ambition and obligation growing stronger. Perhaps tonight, around the flickering light of your hearth, you'll dare to share these dreams. But as you cross the threshold into your home, reality smacks you right in the face. The children rush to your side, their dirty faces lit with joyous relief at your return. You exchange hugs, coaxing their laughter to act as a balm for your tired spirit. Yet, in the shadows, the ghost of that young girl lingers. You cannot shake the knowledge that many, like her, often bear the brunt of this harsh life. As night falls and the family settles in for a meager supper, you carefully weave your thoughts into conversation, gradually introducing your vision for a small market stall, for a place to represent women's contributions, a tribute to the forgotten and overlooked. The acknowledgement flickers in your husband's eyes, perhaps a spark of understanding. You are ready to push the boundaries of expectations and dare to dream of a future where the voice of a woman can be heard. This moment of connection lingers, and as fatigue inches its way into your bones, you draw comfort from the knowledge that sharing your ambitions is a vital step forward. The tapestry of your life is one thread at a time. The moments that kindle strength and resilience, illuminating a path for those daughters who would someday walk the earth after you. And so, as the quiet envelops the night, you tuck your dreams in, cradled softly like the children beside you. Within the flurry of medieval turbulence, you find hope, a steady flicker nurturing the flickering flame of possibility, flickering with all the strength of women before you. The night wears on, and as you curl up beside the gentle crackle of the fire, the shadows dance across the walls like stories swirling in the air, stories of women like you. Each flicker reminds you of the strength embedded in your very being, even amidst the chaos. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the weight of the day settle around you like a warm blanket, the tiredness of your bones whispering secrets of endurance and hope. The clamor of daily struggles washes away, leaving only the quiet spark of possibility glowing in the depths of your mind. The deep breath you take is laden with the knowledge that while life as a medieval woman is indeed brutal, it is also threaded with quiet revolutions. Your thoughts drift to the world beyond, where the lives of women across the ages have shaped and been shaped by the events around them, much like the roots of an enduring tree. One foot in hardship, the other in resilience. What a beautiful balance it must be. Morning arrives once more, and though your body doesn't feel quite ready, the responsibilities of your life push you out of bed once again. The sun barely breaks over the horizon, casting soft light into the small rooms that house your family. You shuffle about the house, attending to your children, dressing them in layers of fabric that keep them warm amidst the crisp morning air. As you move through your tasks, the rhythm of raising a family unfolds in routine, but beneath it lies that lingering desire for more, a yearning for a space of your own where you can gather your dreams and share them with the world. Setting off into the woods later that afternoon to forage herbs, you inhale the earthy scents wafting through the trees. Life abounds around you, each sound and sight bringing a sense of peace that feels rare given the fray of daily life. Today, it's just you and nature, a chance to collect your thoughts against the backdrop of the wilderness. Among the trees, you ponder how women like you have often been guardians of knowledge, trade, and culture, even in the face of opposition. The quiet wisdom of your ancient foremothers resonates in your mind, the herbalists, the healers, the wise women who pushed back against the shadows and illuminated the lives of those around them. Did they dream of a future where women could claim their voices? You certainly do. Imagining a day when your daughter can step into a market herself without fear of judgment or accusation. A leafy branch snaps underfoot and breaks your reverie. You chuckle softly. Your dreams have taken a new shape. From this day on, you determine to become more than a mere participant in your life. Time to be its author. History often skimmed past the tales that matter, yet you and those around you are carving your own paths, shaping your culture with every choice made in defiance of the mundane. Yet, even as these thoughts flow freely, the reality of your obligations comes back to hungrily gnaw at your mind. The darker aspects of your life fill pockets of doubt with thoughts of how to balance tradition against ambition. You return home with a basket full of herbs, the weight of your resolve coursing through you. But as the fire crackles back to life within the hearth, you're acutely aware of the urgent need to express your visions with your husband, not only for the wariness he typically holds about women stepping outside their expected roles, but for the dreams you've collected here in the forest. That evening, as your family gathers around the fire for supper, the air feels charged with a sense of significance. The rhythmic sound of spoons scraping against bowls resonates as a calming backdrop. You finally muster the courage to speak your mind about your dreams. What if I could have a small stall at the market? A place for women to share their goods openly, women's voices, creativity, and the strength of our community. You watch your husband's brow furrow, the flickering flames reflecting uncertainty in his eyes. It's a familiar dance, one you have seen too often. The flicker of fear ignited by new ideas. He sets down his bowl, crossing his arms as he thinks deeply about your words. You desperately hope to unearth his support. Why would you want to do that? He inquires tentatively, though you can hear the underlying concern beneath his voice. You sense the weight of expectations placed upon both of you as your nervousness bubbles beneath the surface. Because it matters, you reply, feeling conviction swell in your chest like a rising tide. Because women have knowledge that should be shared and recognized in our community. We have stories and crafts that deserve a place among the herbs and cheese. It can open up opportunities, not just for me, but for all the women in our village. A slow warmth spreads through the circle. Your children glance up, their eyes wide with wonder. At that moment, you realize something profound. Perhaps your dreams won't just uplift your spirit, but empower those around you. Even under tight constraints of societal expectations, there are whispers of rebellion, soft yet fierce, a quiet resolve hoping to bloom. Silence hangs for a moment, thick and earnest, and you hold your breath, waiting. The crackle of the fire punctuates the atmosphere. Finally, your husband speaks, a mix of surprise and acceptance seeping through his voice. If it brings you joy and helps our family, then I will support you. With that, a rush of relief courses through you, intertwined with disbelief. A quiet exhale promises you that this is a first step, a pivotal moment in your journey. Think of the heights women can reach when they stand together. The courage to nurture individual dreams unfolds within not just you, but every woman striving for a purpose beyond her prescribed duties. That night, you fall asleep cradling the hope entwined in words, while the intoxicating glow of the flame still flickers in your mind. You've taken the first step, the first stitch in the fabric of your dreams. Tomorrow, you'll start crafting a place for women to thrive, a stall where creativity feeds the spirit and sustains the body. As the days blend into weeks, you work tirelessly on your vision, turning whispers of ambition into actions that ripple through your life. You begin to reach out to other women, inviting them to join you in this shared dream. Chatting with a neighbor about herbs, discussing crafts with the baker's wife, gathering stories with the seamstress. In the gathering, hidden potential emerges, and before long, conversations turn into plans. You start to witness the threads of a community weaving together. Imagine the excitement you feel as you and the women brainstorm ideas, crafting plans with the fervor of artists preparing a grand tapestry. You see the spark in their eyes, the acknowledgement of dreams that they too have long hidden beneath layers of responsibility and fear. The laughter, once fleeting, now fills the air like musical notes, dancing around every corner as each woman shares her vision. Even as new hurdles arise, logistics of crafting, events that need organizing, and myriad challenges of life, you realize that you are constructing something far more fulfilling than a simple stall. You are igniting a flame of hope, a beacon of kinship radiating through the village. Each woman's story enriches the collective narrative, stitching individual pieces together into a resilient quilt. Together, you manage to secure a modest but visible location at the market, and the anticipation buzzes like a song played just out of reach. As market day approaches, you can hardly contain the butterflies in your stomach, a mixture of nervousness and excitement rising up, swirling inside. At last, the sun rises on the day you've all prepared for, and the market blooms into life like a field of wildflowers. You stand tall beside your newfound companions, a sea of vibrant colors and confident smiles. As you set up your stall, the scent of fresh herbs and the textures of handcrafted items envelop you, creating an exhilarating tapestry of creation and unity. Watch as women from all over come to discover this new corner of the market, filled with warmth and ingenuity. Laughter rings out, bringing the air alive with camaraderie. The stubborn, unyielding spirit of women finally denied no longer. You step back for a moment, taking in everything around you, the once quiet dreams bursting into reality before your eyes. Amid the hustle of trading, you cannot help but appreciate that this stall is not just your dream. It's a tribute to every woman who has paved a path before, often unnoticed. Your heart swells, and with it, a profound understanding settles deep within you, no matter the burdens, the struggles, or the cruelties of history that are often too heavy to carry. Women are silently writing chronicles of strength, resilience, and community, a testament to the power of voices that defy the storm and celebrate the beauty of sisterhood. Tonight, you'll lie beneath the stars, grateful for the paths that brought you here, humbled by the women you joined in courage and purpose. You close your eyes, content that even amid a world marked by hardships, the heart's whispers echo far and wide, crafting new futures that will forever illuminate the way, shaping generations yet to come. As you stand at your stall, surrounded by the rush of a vibrant market, a profound sense of camaraderie envelops you like a warm embrace. The sun casts a golden hue over everything, illuminating the faces of the women beside you. Each voice, each shared laughter mingles together, creating a melody that embraces the fresh air and makes every worry feel distant. Today marks the beautiful beginning of a new chapter, not just for you, but for all the women daring to claim their space in this world. As customers drift towards your stall, an unexpected thrill weaves through you, igniting a flicker of hope in every corner of your heart. They stop to inspect your goods, drawn in by the colors and scents rushing toward them like sirens luring sailors to their shores. You can hardly believe how tangible the excitement feels, not merely for the goods being sold, but for the community you've created. In this moment, it's clear that every woman here carries her unique intelligence, all woven together in the shared tapestry of ambition and creativity. Amidst the enthusiastic chaos, you spot your children playing on the sidelines, their giggles radiating pure joy as they chase one another in a game of tag. It instantly reminds you that every sacrifice was worth it in creating a future where they can dream without fear of constraint. You get to witness their innocence and laughter bloom in a world that once seemed suffocating, a breezy reprieve from harsh realities. Here at your stall, this new venture isn't just about selling herbs and crafts. It has become a beacon of hope, nurturing not only your aspirations, but also allowing others to embrace theirs. You engage in conversation with women from neighboring villages, their faces lighting up as they talk about the things they love and create. These connections deepen, reminding everyone that there is a wealth of knowledge among them. The strength of women rises higher collectively than it ever could singularly. You overhear a woman raving about a particular herb you've brought, extolling its virtues and uses in healing. As she shares her excitement with others, you smile, your heart swelling with pride. You also venture to trade a few of your herbs for their crafts, sharing laughter over each new exchange. This is what you wanted. A space where ideas can flow freely, where stories can echo off walls laden with history and experience, and where fear has melted into laughter and the brilliance of creativity. As the market day unfolds, you stand alert and immersed in the beauty of collaboration. When one stall runs low on product, you lend your support, offering to share ideas, helping where you can. It's rewarding, like lighting a candle and watching its glow ignite other flames around it. The exchanges feel rich with purpose and shared understanding, a tapestry woven from courage. Later in the day, as the sun begins its descent and paints the sky in rainbows of oranges and pinks, you take a moment to breathe deeply, letting gratitude wash over you. A satisfied crowd slowly begins to disperse, each woman with stories and treasures tucked under her arms, armed with the day's exchanges, ready to carry them home like whispered secrets shared among friends. Before you know it, the sun sinks behind the hills, and you and the other vendors pack away remnants of the day's labor. As you fold cloths and gather goods, a sense of completion washes over you. It's not merely the closing of the market, but the closing of a chapter filled with collective joys and laughter that have twisted together like vines in the trees. You feel lighter, effortlessly unburdened. As you head home, your heart dances. You are filled with visions of what the future may hold. Possibilities unfurl like flower petals after rain, each inviting you to step closer and nurture the dreams waiting to blossom. Your husband greets you with a proud smile, and the glow radiating between the two of you feels as rich as the golden hues of dusk. "You did it," he says, voice brimming with warmth. I could hear the laughter and joy from the market. It seems you've created something truly beautiful. With each word, every smile, every embrace, you recognize that you're not alone in this venture. This newfound venture brings your family closer and offers them a seat at the table in defining your shared future. You're ready to take this gentle spirit of collaboration and creativity into your home, nurturing it further with the love you cultivated along the way. Soon, the kitchen warms with the scent of a hearty stew bubbling on the fire, accompanied by the joy of your children sharing tales from their day. The air thick with hope. You know it's a beautiful blend of ambition mixed with a hint of nostalgia. After all, everything you're building is coloring a brighter future for them. Each of their stories is a strand, knitting a rich tapestry that honors those who came before and the dreams still yet to be realized. Over supper, you share your hopes for the next market day, discussing the expansion of goods and ideas best suited for your growing network of women. Everyone leans in, fascination knitted into the fabric of the evening's shared meal. As you engage them, your spirits rise, not only feeling content, but emboldened by every exchange of ideas you've shared. Amid the warm light and family chatter, you realize that life has become something more than mere survival. Dreams, once distant and daunting, are now tangible and alive. The threads of your existence weave into the stories of innumerable women, past and present, each showcasing the fierce determination to thrive against the odds. This is life after the shadow. This is the emergence of hope. As the day settles into night, you help your children wash their faces and tuck them into bed, whispering stories of bravery, creativity, and an unyielding spirit that flows through your veins. You remind them that as women, their voices matter, that they will walk a path defined by their ambitions, just as you've begun to carve yours. That quiet moment becomes a bridge, not only between mother and children, but also between the past and what is yet to come. You commit to nurture this spirit, channeling the indomitable courage of women who walked before you and who will forge paths in the future. What began as an evolution from isolation to unity has spiraled into something more profound, a movement to uplift and empower the voices of all women. As sleep takes hold later that night, you drift into a realm where dreams intertwine with ambitions, aspirations, and unyielding courage. You envision a brighter tomorrow, where women gather not solely as vendors or caretakers, but as dreamers, influencers, and architects of their destinies, silhouettes outlined against the canvas of a new dawn slowly emerging on the horizon. The whispers of previous generations echo in your heart, imparting strength, validating dreams, and forging a path through the future yet to come. Sleep wraps its warm embrace around you, cradling hope like a cherished treasure, embodying the spirit of resilience, much like the very strands that weave together the tapestry of life. Every thread vital, every moment sung into the song of history. As you awaken to the soft glow of dawn filtering through your window, the world outside seems to beckon with new promise. The sun rises gradually, awakening the village from its slumber, and it feels as though the air carries an electric excitement, charged with potential. You rise with the sunrise, filled with renewed determination and the recognition that yesterday's successes were merely the first steps in a much larger journey. You stretch your limbs, pleasantly sore from the day before, and make your way to the kitchen, where the smell of fresh herbs lingers in the air, remnants of yesterday's market activity. It is not just a memory of herbs sold, but also a reminder of connections formed and the seeds of community nourished. As you begin preparing breakfast, a smile creeps onto your lips as you conjure up the laughter and joy shared with other women. The undeniable power that comes from standing together. The children awaken, their eyes still heavy with sleep, but as they see you, they bounce into action, full of energy. They chatter excitedly about the market, recounting moments that touch their hearts, the kindness of a neighbor, a story shared, and the thrill of being part of something larger than themselves. Their enthusiasm envelops you like a warm shawl, making you feel grateful for this little family of yours. It is in their wildness that you draw strength, the playful spirit they carry, representing the hope you fought to cultivate. After breakfast, as you wash the dishes, you ponder the elements of your market stall. You have so much more to offer than just herbs and crafts. You envision workshops that empower women to harness their skills, to learn, create, and, importantly, come together to share their stories. The thought fills you with giddy excitement. Imagine hosting gatherings, a safe space for women to exchange knowledge and life experiences, a literal carving out of room for their voices amid centuries of silence. With a plan brewing in your mind, you gather your supplies and set off toward the market. Arriving there, the familiar sounds of trading and chatter greet you like old friends. You set aside the usual routine of selling, shifting gears towards inviting fellow women to be part of your growing vision. You spot your companions from the previous day, their faces lighting up as they share stories about their own dreams for the future. And you can't help but feel the infectious energy igniting in the air. Wouldn't it be wonderful to host workshops? You suggest, your heart racing at the idea unfolding in your mind. We could come together to teach one another skills we've each mastered, be it herbal remedies, weaving, or even cooking. Imagine the creativity we could cultivate. The reactions are varied. Some murmur in excitement, others furrow their brows in skepticism. Who would come? One woman asks, her tone tinged with doubt. What if no one is interested? but you refuse to let doubt extinguish the spark that has ignited. We start with ourselves. Let's create events that celebrate the skills we already possess. We could reach out to women from neighboring villages, spread the word, and see what unfolds, you say, your voice steady. The conversation blossoms, shifting from skepticism to excitement as you collectively brainstorm ideas. Names begin to swirl as they contemplate possible gatherings. Crafting circle, herbal remedies workshop, stories of our ancestors. With each idea, you feel the butterflies in your stomach turn to a chorus of hope. The small revolution is beginning to take root. That afternoon, as the sun climbs higher, illuminating the market in warm light, you notice whispers of engagement rippling through groups of women gathering. You can feel the current of inspiration flow around. Faces once marked by uncertainty now shine with a flicker of enthusiasm. People lean in, eager to share thoughts, and for young girls wandering by, the atmosphere feels alive with possibility, dropping seeds of aspiration for the future. And yes, the echo of your own daughter's laughter rises above the crowd, reminding you precisely who you are fighting for. You know somewhere in the back of your mind that the path is not without its hurdles, but in that moment, filled with determination, the obstacles feel surmountable. Every face, every smile amplifies the vision. The following weeks sweep by like wildflowers swirling in a brisk summer wind. The community's pulse intensifies as more women contribute their time and effort, eager to bring your idea to fruition. Word spreads like wildfire through the village about the upcoming workshops, and the excitement echoes every time you cross paths with a fellow woman. Your once diminished dreams are blossoming, unfurling petal by petal, until they resemble a garden painted with vibrant colors. You brainstorm with others, laying the groundwork for the first craftsmanship and storytelling day. Invitations are handwritten on parchment, adorned with little doodles, while you encourage women to spread the word. In this burgeoning space, you begin to see the community's light shine brightly, a beacon of hope calling forth everyone who yearns for expression and connection. Then, as you sit down with your children at the table one evening, your daughter asks about the upcoming event, eyes brightening with anticipation. "Will I get to learn something too, Mama?" she asks, hope threading through her voice. You can't help but smile because this day is not just for women. It encompasses the very future you envision. Yes, my dear, this is for each of us to learn and grow together. Your talents matter just as much as any woman's, you affirm, trying to measure each word carefully to nourish her growing spirit. In time, you may even lead your own workshops. The flame of possibility dances in her eyes, and in sharing that vision, you realize you're not just shaping your future, you're also participating in crafting the paths of those who will walk beside you, the next generation of strong women ready to reshape their world. Finally, the awaited day arrives, when energy surges through the market like a tidal wave. Women and their children gather, the air rich with laughter and the promise of shared stories. You oversee the setup of the event, alongside the women who have lent their hands with generosity and care. Tents flutter in the light breeze, adorned with handmade crafts, pots of herbs, and colorfully draped fabrics displaying the fruits of their labor. As you step back to take in the scene, the smiles of familiar faces flit before you. That recognition of friendship and shared purpose fills you with gratitude. Now, watching your little initiative transform into a sanctuary of expression, its roots intertwined in the soil of your collective determination, you see a tapestry of dreams unfold before you. Workshops begin, and the rhythm of creativity encircles the gathering. Stories are shared, projects are crafted, and laughter bubbles up in the air like a melody that binds everyone together. From weaving baskets to sharing herbal knowledge, the day radiates with inspiration, a celebration of the resilience that flows through women's hearts. You weave between groups, engaging with participants as they learn not just skills, but also the priceless treasure of community. Whispers of excitement and encouragement fuel each woman's spirit as they gather in corners buzzing with ideas for future collaborations. They share stories from their own lives, their voices intermingling to create a chorus of resilience, crafting futures that hold promise. By the end of the day, with the sun setting beautifully on the horizon, you stand back and witness your dream come full circle. A sense of fulfillment warms your chest like nothing else. You realize that the vision you dared to voice has transformed into a powerful movement. You've ignited more than just crafting skills. You've fostered a community of women ready to rise together, their voices echoing hopes for generations to come. As you return home that evening, your heart swells with pride and gratitude. You gather your children in your arms, embracing them tightly, knowing deep down that you're not just carrying the weight of your own dreams. In forging this path, you've created space for all women's dreams to flourish beyond the limits once imposed. Later that night, as you drift into sleep, your thoughts are saturated with positivity, a melange of laughter, camaraderie, and the unbreakable spirit of the women who surround you. The challenges faced no longer feel insurmountable. Within the embrace of friendship and collective strength, a long-forgotten resolve now beats at the very heart of your existence. This beautiful reclamation of life offers you renewed hope. The darkness that threatened to envelop women for centuries has been illuminated by the flickering flame of sisterhood. Tomorrow promises to bring new possibilities, a canvas waiting for each of you to paint your stories anew. And in the gentle silence of night, as you nestle deeper into your dreams, hope envelops you, for on this incredible journey, you've found that it's not about surviving. It's about thriving together, fostering light where shadows once loomed, and continuing to weave the vibrant threads of history into something extraordinary. With every pulse of your heart, you envision a future shimmering with the promise of adventure, dreams pursued, and lives transformed together. As dawn breaks again, the world takes on a different hue. The remnants of last night's gathering still linger in the air, filled with echoes of laughter and the strength of shared spirits. You wake feeling buoyed, a sense of purpose invigorating your morning routine as you prepare breakfast once more. Your children chatter excitedly about the activities from the day before, their eyes glimmering with wonder at the idea that they could be part of such a community. This warmth fills your heart, and as you serve breakfast, you take a moment to appreciate these small victories. Each bite, a reminder of the dreams manifesting into reality. After breakfast, you begin reviewing the remnants of your day. You marvel at how furiously your little venture took root, blooming from the seed of an idea into a flourishing communal space. As you organize your thoughts, you realize that newfound energy is like a bright thread, weaving itself through your plans for the future. You start to see possibilities, a place for mentorship, a venue for women to share their skills, create connections, and inspire the next generation. Today, you decide to visit other villages, hoping to expand the network of women who may want to join your efforts. With nourishing herbs and carefully crafted items stacked in your woven basket, you set off, the sun warming your back as you walk. The cobblestone paths roll beneath your feet, and bees flit from blossom to blossom, reminding you of the busyness that exists all around, a life full of motion, ever evolving. As you cross the threshold into a nearby village, you are greeted by vibrancy. Vendors calling to customers, children at play, and the scent of baked goods wafting through the air. You wander from stall to stall, absorbing the lively atmosphere, and share encouraging smiles with fellow women. When you approach a stall run by a woman you've come to respect, an experienced herbalist named Agnes, your heart swells with anticipation. This is the woman you believe can contribute greatly to your vision. Agnes, you call out, waving as you approach. I have some ideas that I think you might want to hear about. Her brow arches with curiosity, a smile breaking across her face. Well, I'm intrigued. Tell me, what's brewing in that mind of yours? You begin to share your plan for community workshops, places where women can gather to learn from each other, share stories, and cultivate their skills. With every step you take in describing your vision, you see her eyes light up, sparking a delight that transforms into enthusiastic nods. This is incredible, she eventually exclaims. I would love to teach a class on herbal remedies. Women in our communities need access to this knowledge. Encouraged by her response, you delve deeper into ideas. What other workshops could be included? How might it necessitate collaboration? You brainstorm as you lean against her stall, fostering new thoughts about crafts, storytelling, and perhaps even cooking lessons. The connection is electric, and with each word spoken, you find strength in one another's company. Agnes leans closer. You know, I've heard whispers of other villages planning similar gatherings. If we could pool our resources. Your heart soars at the thought. A network of women cropping up across the land, knitting together a community that stretches further than your own village. It feels infinite, as if the potential before you is only limited by the confines of your imagination. You discuss logistics, the possibility of meeting regularly, exchanging skills, and building each other up in ways that no one ever thought possible. This could really change everything, you say, excitement dancing in your voice. As you finish your conversation, there's a shared understanding that something special is taking place, a shift that might ripple through the region and beyond. You part ways, promising to revisit soon. And as you stroll back through the village, vibrant ideas swirl around in your mind like leaves tumbling in a gentle breeze. Back home, the bright laughter of your children floats through the open door, fully enveloping you as you step inside. They gather around you, eager to hear about your day, their small hands brushing against the basket of herbs and crafts. In them, you see the hope of a brighter future, one that offers dreams of possibility for each of them as they grow. Can we gather herbs like you, Mama? Your daughter asks, eyes sparkling with the enthusiasm of youth. You chuckle softly and nod. Absolutely. We'll start tomorrow together, a little journey through our garden. As the evening sky settles in, painting everything in muted shades of twilight, the comfort of family envelops you again. You share ideas with your husband about connecting with other villages, building those networks further, and unveiling the potential of collective effort. I think you're onto something, he says, the warmth of his support igniting a new sense of courage within you. It could bring not just you, but all women together, a shift in understanding, perhaps even an evolution in shared power. Deep down, you could feel it, this overwhelming sense of movement. It was a quiet revolution taking form, a crafting of collective aspirations that wielded more influence than any decree from kings or lords. You settle into the rhythm of home, the simple act of living. while hope dances in the back of your mind. Weeks turn into months, and as you curate workshops through collaboration, you witness the blossoming of community. Women come from far and wide, sharing knowledge and forging bonds. The tangible space you created transforms into a sanctuary, an affirming lighthouse guiding those lost in the murky waters of tradition. You often find yourself standing among a circle of women, actively participating, mentoring the next generation. You take joy in their successes as the confidence they project strengthens not only themselves, but the entire community. Each cheerful voice echoes with the promise of empowerment, crafting a legacy that even time can erase. Then one day, standing beneath the shade of a grand oak during a particularly busy workshop, you feel an undeniable surge of pride. Within this woven tapestry of shared experiences, women write their own histories. You laugh as you facilitate a storytelling circle, each woman eagerly taking turns, stories flowing like streams winding through the hills. You listen intently, weaving the threads of their past into her story, capturing tales of laughter, loss, wisdom, and resilience. They stand tall, their confidence radiating, voices unafraid, bridging generation gaps. It's beautiful. Their words become an inheritance, a tapestry adorned with the myriad experiences that shape lives. As dust settles, the gathering bonds over shared experiences and reflects on the work that still lays ahead. Together, you create visions of what a dream may hold, expanding beyond craftsmanship into realms where stories encircle others, creating a shield against societal expectations. You dream of a place where they can freely nurture their aspirations. Later, as the sun bids farewell to the day, you retreat to your family's warmth, cradled in their presence. The laughter from the other night lingers sweetly, like the soft strum of a lute, and you feel connected to something far beyond yourself, a tapestry thread of lives that entwine forever, forming an unbreakable bond. As you drift off to sleep, you cherish the moments woven into days. The dreams of countless women before you breathe life into your own journey. Together, you nurture ambition, celebrating those who carved pathways against their trials, all the while knowing this movement is only beginning. In the quiet realm of slumber, images of the women you've met swirl around you. Their stories echo, reinforcing a powerful truth. Women's voices are essential threads in the vast tapestry of life. This movement nourishes tomorrow's seeds, ensuring the stories continue to unfold, blossoming into a future where women stand shoulder to shoulder, dreams unapologetically embraced. The night settles, the warmth of connection soothing your spirit. As you drift deeper into dreams, you realize the legacy you're helping to create isn't just about survival, but about embracing life in all its vivid colors. A legacy where creativity dances, dreams thrive, and voices resonate throughout the ages. And as the moonlight filters through the window, illuminating your room, you know the threads of history will always weave tales of courage, tenacity, and hope in the hearts of those who dare to dream. As dawn breaks softly once more, the air carries a briskness that signals the arrival of autumn. The world outside is vibrant, showcasing a kaleidoscope of reds, oranges, and browns dancing in the trees, blanketing the earth like a patchwork quilt. You awaken feeling rejuvenated, excitement bubbling within you as you contemplate this transformative season. It's a time when dreams take on new forms, much like the changing leaves, and you feel ready to embrace whatever comes next. Today marks a pivotal moment in your community, a culmination of all the hard work and dedication that so many women have poured into the various workshops you've organized. It's time for the first Harvest Festival, a celebration anticipated by many for its blend of community gathering and the sharing of skills learned over the past months. The buzz of anticipation vibrates through your very being, fanning the flames of excitement and hope. You rise from bed and move about the house, buoyed by the promise of the day ahead. Your children, still battling sleep, are drawn in by your enthusiasm. Today is special, you declare, nudging them awake. They groggily sit up, rubbing their eyes. But as the words sink in, their faces transform from sleep-stunned to sparkling with excitement. After breakfast, you gather the family to prep for the festival. You discuss how each child can contribute, setting up decorations, helping with the preparations, and maybe even sharing a tale or two of their own to entertain guests. It warms your heart to see them so engaged, their imaginations alight with possibilities. Once everything is packed, you make your way to the gathering field, where colourful tents and stalls already dot the landscape. Entering the festival grounds feels electric. Your fellow women bustle around, setting up booths and arranging their goods with care. As you approach, the air fills with laughter, conversation, and a palpable spirit of celebration that makes your heart flutter. You greet friends and acquaintances, exchanging smiles and warm embraces as you move through the crowd. Your little stall, adorned with bright fabrics and bountiful herbs, stands at the center of it all. It feels familiar yet charged with the vibe of promise. As you set up, your fellow vendors join you, exchanging ideas and supporting each other's endeavors. The energy builds, and you sense that today marks the collective heartbeat of your community. As the festival opens, the crowd pours in. Families with children in tow, friends catching up on the news, and even a few curious newcomers drawn in by the sounds of joy. Children run about, laughter spilling into the atmosphere, weaving a tapestry of harmony that envelops you all. You take a moment to breathe it all in. This vivid scene of life unfolding, hearts beating in synchrony. One by one, women take the stage you have prepared. They share stories about their crafts, each tale resonating with experiences unique to them. Stories of toil, but also of triumph, unfold like fragrant petals. And as you listen, you can feel powerful threads of connection weaving through the crowd, binding everyone together stronger than ever. It evokes a sense of family while simultaneously reminding you of the rich tapestry of shared experiences and struggles. With every truth vocalized, you can see the audience leaning in. Their attentiveness invites vulnerability, and before long, the celebratory atmosphere shifts into something deeper. A gathering of souls willing to embrace their journeys despite the hardships they may have faced. As the day continues, you step up to share your own story, reflecting on the path that brought you here, to this very moment, an intersection of courage, resilience, and the unwavering bonds of community. You speak of your dreams, of the many women who inspired you to rise, and the cooperative spirit that defines your journey forward. The crowd listens with rapt attention, and their cheers and affirmations resonate like a warm embrace around you. You feel empowered, no longer just a voice, but also a torchbearer, guiding others through uncharted paths. After your call to action, the audience flowers outward, sensing the collective desire to continue this journey together, a unified force propelled by shared ambitions. When the sun begins its descent, signaling the festival's grand finale, you watch with joy as women gather in earnest conversation, brushing shoulders as ideas bloom. Business partners form, friendships emerge, seeds of inspiration sow themselves deep in fertile ground. You see it clearly now. This is how change manifests, how community transforms and thrives. As the evening deepens, gatherings evolve into a tableau of celebration surrounded by flickering lights. Lanterns hang from the trees, and the atmosphere crackles with laughter as tales are recounted, and new friendships blossom. You stroll through the gathering, weaving seamlessly between groups as you check in, absorbing the glow of connection shared by the women around you. Stories bounce from heart to heart, a river of energy flowing with every laugh, every nod of understanding. Finally, when twilight blankets the earth, you find a quiet space with your children, away from the bustling crowd. You sit beneath the glittering starlit sky, the air crisp and alive. Do you feel it? You ask them, your heart swelling with pride. This is what our community is about, sharing dreams, learning, and lifting each other up. Your daughter gazes up at you, her wide eyes sparkling like the stars above. Can we do this again? I want to help with the stories too, she exclaims, filled with untempered enthusiasm. The joy of her words resonates with you deeply, confirming that this legacy of empowerment is blooming in the hearts of the young, carried forward with innocent hope. As the night draws to a close and families begin to gather their things to head home, you steal a moment to gaze around, allowing the scene to sink into your memory. The festival may end tonight, but it has paved the way for dreams that reach beyond what you thought could be imagined. In your heart, you know this isn't merely an ending. It's a launchpad, a catalyst that will inspire more gatherings, more stories, and more critical connections. You feel the wiring of history transforming in real time, created by everyday women shaping their destinies and futures through solidarity. As you stroll home amid the soft glow of starlight, contentment washes over you like the gentle tide, carrying with it the realization that every step taken towards empowerment lays a new brick in the pathway to liberation for future generations. That night, as your head hits the pillow and dreams begin to happily visit you, you find comfort in the knowledge that you, alongside numerous women, are fanning the flames of hope. By sharing strengths, voices, and stories, you are weaving a narrative of resilience that will echo through the ages. And as sleep gracefully embraces you, your heart swells with the memory of warmth, laughter, and possibility, mirroring the vibrancy around you, illuminating the tapestry of life that stretches beyond your own experience, glowing with the shared light of unity, resolve, and dreams that have only just begun to unfold. Days turn into weeks, and as autumn settles in, a newfound rhythm takes over your life. The aftermath of the Harvest Festival continues to ripple through your community, with women from neighboring villages expressing interest in participating and sharing their skills. The buzz around your workshops grows stronger, inviting even more friendships and collaborations to blossom within the network you've started to cultivate. Each day feels infused with purpose as you prepare for upcoming gatherings. The air is tinged with anticipation, like the scent of damp earth anticipating the promise of rain. You meet regularly with Agnes and other women to discuss plans, brainstorm new ideas, and fine-tune upcoming events. You see smiles more frequently now amidst shared cups of herbal tea, laughter punctuating conversations as hopes grow higher. Today, however, marks a special occasion beyond the usual workshops. It's time for your Women's Wisdom Exchange, a dedicated day for all women to share their expertise, lasting not just an afternoon, but a full day with various activities spread across the open air. Everything from culinary demonstrations to folklore storytelling, you can hardly contain your excitement. This is the culmination of all the collective knowledge and creativity that has spiraled from your initial vision. You rise early that morning, the sun barely peeking above the horizon, a promise of golden rays lighting up the world. The crisp air kisses your cheeks, invigorating you as you prepare. You gather herbs, foods for cooking demonstrations, and a blanket of stories woven from your experiences to share. It's a rich tapestry of thought and creativity, reflecting the values you hold dear. As you arrive at the gathering space, you are greeted by a sight that fills your heart. Women are already milling about, bustling with joy and purpose as they prepare their stations. Tents flutter in the gentle breeze, colours intertwining in a stunning tableau of unity. The energy is electric, the aura vibrant with anticipation and excitement. You make your rounds, greeting mentors and participants alike, marvelling at the pioneers among you, the wise women who have answered your call. Each has gracefully offered their time and skills, intertwining their stories into the growing communal narrative. There's an herbalist setting up her stand, a weaver preparing her loom, and a baker arranging fresh loaves of bread in sweet anticipation of the crowd. As the day unfolds, you witness all of it with a sense of awe. The workshops come alive. Children laugh as they knead dough, and women gather in circles sharing their stories and crafts. You step into sessions, eager to learn from fellow artisans, immersing yourself in the delightful blend of knowledge. In one corner, Agnes leads a talk on deep-rooted herbal remedies, and you merit satisfaction as the crowd listens intently, fascination etched on their faces. The aromas around the herb stand exude warmth, that familiar blend of familiarity and nostalgia. They transport you to countless quiet afternoons spent learning from women just like Agnes. You realize the importance of this knowledge, and for a moment, you feel like you are passing on the history that has been passed through generations. Later, you lead a cooking demonstration, showcasing how to create a dish using foraged herbs. As you chop and mix, laughter rises, your voice vibrant among voices engaged and adoring. You feel the energy of shared learning flowing around you, and at that moment, it's clear. This is what community looks like. It's alive, it's vibrant and swirling with warmth. The sun climbs higher, casting beautiful rays upon the gathering, and with every moment spent teaching and learning, a rich tapestry of connection threads itself into the fabric of the day. You can hear sweet melodies filling the air as a woman strums her lute, creating a soundtrack that resonates with the emotions you all share, celebrating empowerment and nurturing dreams. As afternoon gives way to evening, the sun begins its descent, painting the sky with golden hues that transition into soft oranges and purples. You start to notice something profound developing in the hearts of those gathered. A sense of belonging, an understanding that they are partaking in something greater than themselves. The voices of women elevate one another, echoing affirmations of strength, wisdom, and grace. You turn to gather with a small circle of participants, and they offer their insights and thoughts about the experience, invigorated by the community spirit that pervades the festival. One woman shares how she was once hesitant to let her voice be heard, but has found encouragement to embrace the stories and skills ingrained in her heritage. I never thought I could feel this way about my own abilities. Today it feels empowering, she reflects, her tone reverberating with gratitude. And as you gaze around, you see mirrored expressions, each face a testament to growth ignited by shared experiences. In that moment, it all comes together for you. This is the true essence of what you sought, providing women with the space to be more than just vessels of labor, but as voices celebrating their unique stories, ready to share their wisdom collectively. The transformation you've initiated has become a living, breathing network that reaches hearts and ignites courage. After hours filled with workshops and exchanges, the festival begins to wind down, but spirits are still high. Women gather around a crackling fire, sharing tales and laughter, alive with shimmering possibilities. Someone suggests a round of storytelling, drawing inspiration from experiences shared that day. And eyes twinkle with excitement. You settle in among the friends you've made, wrapped in a cozy shawl, and take a breath, the hum of unity wrapping around you like a warm blanket. The stories flow like honey, sweet and thick, covering themes of love, loss, resilience and laughter. It's captivating. One woman shares a light-hearted tale of her childhood and how she first learned to bake, accidentally mistaking salt for sugar, making a delightful yet layered narrative of triumph over the sprinkling mishap. Laughter erupts as the group shares similar experiences, every woman chiming in with her own bloopers. In these moments of shared laughter and vulnerability, you witness how collective joy forges connections, how a simple story can create a thread binding hearts. As night envelops the world around you, someone pulls a strumming instrument again, and the melody fills the air with warmth, drawing the circle together in a rousing song that bursts into existence, echoing the spirit of triumph surrounding the day. Hands intertwined, you sway gently, rhythmically, with the sound of voices harmonizing, an anthem for women who dare to dream, who dare to thrive amidst challenges. In that space, flanked by art, laughter, and resilience, you feel profoundly grateful to be part of this journey. Your heart swells with pride knowing you've played a role in nurturing this community tapestry. Each thread woven today serves not just to connect women, but also to remind them of their place in history, to show that every story held within them is not only theirs to cherish, but others to celebrate. As you gaze at the flickering flames, you can't help but think of the power within these moments. Like seeds planted in fertile soil, with nurturing hands raised to the sun. You know these gatherings will continue to bear fruit beyond today, sprouting even more connections, fostering relationships among women across the land, creating a legacy of empowerment that dances through time. Eventually, as the stars twinkle high above, signaling the festival's end, you share embrace after embrace with your fellow women, sisters bound by shared dreams, aspirations, and stories. Each hug feels like a promise, a commitment to continue navigating the landscapes of life together, fueling ambitions, nurturing dreams, and lifting one another higher. Later that night, as you finally return home, you flop onto your bed, exhausted yet blissfully satisfied, filled with the excitement of the day. You think of how this festival was more than a celebration. It became a foundation upon which to build more dreams and connections. Drifting off into sleep, the laughter, warmth, and magic of the day linger in your mind. You close your eyes, dreaming of the futures ahead and the innumerable stories still waiting to be shared, nurturing the strength of women, forever unyielding against the tempest. Every heartbeat resonating with the pulse of community, hope, and love. As sleep envelops you, you find comfort in knowing that the legacy of resilience and empowerment will endure, sprinkled like stardust among generations, crafting a narrative that praises the voices of all women who dare to tread their own path. It's a journey that not only enriches their lives, but also shapes a rich and colorful tapestry that deserves to be told for ages to come. As the gentle light of dawn breaks through the window the next morning, you awaken with the remnants of yesterday's joy still wrapped around your heart. The Harvest Festival has sparked a flame within you and your community. Now, the air seems thick with promise. Today, you sense that the connections you've nurtured are about to flourish further, growing branches that will reach out into neighboring lands and forge even deeper ties. After a quick breakfast, you gather your thoughts and preparations for another full day. With newfound energy, you map out the contemporary ideas spinning in your mind from last night's storytelling circle. The way the women shared their experiences resonated deeply. It's clear that everyone is eager for more opportunities to connect and share. You find yourself yearning to facilitate these moments, not just in workshops, but in varied forms, perhaps gatherings inspired by deeper themes of shared womanhood, candle-lit evenings steeped in storytelling, or thematic dinners showcasing the culinary skills that reside within your community. With excitement bubbling beneath the surface, you set out into the village, eager to connect with the other women who have become your allies in this journey. You feel like you are on the verge of a new chapter, one that holds the potential to expand into realms you have yet to explore. The sun shines brightly above, casting a warm glow on the stones beneath your feet as you wander through the village. Each familiar face you pass carries a smile that feels like an affirmation, a kindness that encourages you forward. You decide to visit Agnes first. Her wisdom and insight have been pivotal in your journey, and you are certain she will have her own spark of inspiration. Arriving at her herbalist stall, you find her chatting with a few eager women, discussing herbal remedies with light-hearted banter woven through the conversation. Eagerly, you step forward to join them. "Morning, everyone. I'd love to share some ideas I have for future gatherings," you announce with enthusiasm, your heart racing. Agnes turns to face you, a welcoming smile blooming. "Oh, I could see the ideas swirling in your mind as you left last night. What do you have for us?" As you outline your vision for hosting thematic gatherings, nights dedicated to storytelling, skill sharing, and culinary delights. Agnes nods, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "This is wonderful. We could rotate hosts each time, showcasing different skills and backgrounds. Imagine the diversity of stories brought to life." The idea seems to resonate deeply with everyone present. Soon, fellow women at the stall join in, throwing out ideas and listening intently to one another. Laughter rises as you exchange anecdotes about past gatherings, and a delightful flurry of thoughts sends you spiraling into a new world of possibilities. A sense of unity pulses amongst you, fueling the excitement as you discuss ways to bring in new women, invite those who haven't yet found their voice, and create a culture that celebrates both individuality and togetherness. As you finalize plans for the first evening gathering, you feel a sense of goosebumps ripple through you. This is the spark of something extraordinary. A movement where stories of laughter, love, resilience, and even the mundane will come together to awaken hearts. By the end of your discussion, you and your companions outline a plan to hold the first candle-lit gathering the following week. A night filled with storytelling, music, and shared dishes prepared from the bounty of the harvest. With the air thick with excitement and anticipation, you make your way to your home, your mind abuzz with everything you've just discussed. Each step feels lighter than the last, and as your children rush to greet you, their innocent faces glow with warmth and curiosity. You grab them into a hug, blessing the lives you've built together. Their laughter fills your home, an ethereal backdrop to the dreams swirling within you. In the days leading to the gathering, the preparations unfold as if orchestrated by some invisible hand. Women from around the village rally together, bringing foods from their kitchens, sharing dishes rich in tradition. You witness firsthand the power of community, the way stories inspire people to reach out, collaborate, and share deeply rooted customs passed down through generations. You can almost taste the tapestry of rich flavors swirling in the air, waiting to be unearthed at the gathering. When the day finally arrives, anticipation hums in the evening air. The sky deepens into inky hues, and sprinklings of stars begin to twinkle overhead as you prepare your home for the gathering. You set up the space so that every woman feels welcomed, arranging cushions and fabrics to create cozy nooks for conversation and closeness. Scented candles dance upon tables, casting a warm glow that welcomes guests like a hug. As the first women arrive, each greeted with open arms and friendly smiles, you feel a touch of magic swirl through the air. There's a sense of belonging that runs deep in the atmosphere, an undercurrent of understanding that embraces women from diverse backgrounds. They are all here to share, grow, and celebrate one another. It brings tears to your eyes just thinking of the change this could inspire within each of you. Once everyone settles in, you gather everyone around, a circle radiating warmth and positivity. You introduce the evening, welcoming them again, and sharing your vision for these gatherings, the significance of women sharing stories, traditions, and experiences to interlace the fabric of community in a lasting embrace. The room buzzes with excitement, and the warmth of their smiles fuels your determination. As the first speaker takes the floor, a story unfolds, a tale of laughter and courage, shared skillfully for all to hear. Each subsequent story shared builds upon the last, layer upon layer of memories and hopes, encircling the gathering with the essence of lived experiences. It's a beautiful cycle of connection. Laughter, tears, and camaraderie blend as each woman shares her own tale. You watch as one by one, voices rise boldly, weaving a rich tapestry of what it means to be a woman in this time, expressing fears and dreams as they are met with support from their peers, flowing back and forth in a rhythm that feels as ancient as time itself. When it's your turn, you step forward, looking around at the faces lit by candlelight. You share your journey, both the struggles and victories, reflecting on the importance of community, the way the power of shared experiences can foster courage. It's mesmerizing, watching how others react. There are nods of recognition, shared laughter, and even a few tears. In this moment, you know you are stitching something wondrous, a network of support and belief. As the gathering continues, dishes are passed around, scents waft through the air, aromas of hearty stews, breads, pastries, and an array of delectable treats that each woman contributed. Conversations shift seamlessly from heartfelt stories to discussions about recipes, herbal remedies, and family traditions, creating a symphony of exchanges that echo through the night. With a common thread, you begin to embrace a new sense of purpose. The opportunities for connection are endless as laughter and stories transport individuals to different realms, a shared journey unfolding before you. As midnight approaches and the candle flames flicker low, you notice that while energy may be waning, the spirits are high. Each woman's spirit glows brighter, nourished by the understanding that they are all part of something larger than themselves. A commitment to building one another up, fostering connections, breaking barriers, and inspiring freedom. Eventually, as the final stories are shared, the gathering shifts. Someone suggests finishing the night with a song, envisioning harmonies that burst forth from the hearts of every woman still in the circle. With excitement filling the atmosphere, voices rise together, weaving a chorus that rings through the night air, binding them all together in powerful unity. Standing amidst the laughter and the music while the stars twinkle above you, you realize this evening isn't just an ordinary gathering. It has become a powerful tapestry connecting women across stories, cultures, dreams, and struggles. You leave this gathering knowing that you have nurtured the seeds of something far more impactful. Roots growing deeper, reaching out toward the possibilities of joy and resilience that were long hidden behind the weight of history as these women drift into the night. Speaking of their own inspired stories, you reflect on the momentum created during these evenings, knowing that they will continue to spark conversations, connections, and changes to create a shared future filled with strength. The friendships blooming around you promise a budding landscape of love and community solidarity. As you close the door to your home that evening, enveloped in the warmth of remaining echoes and lingering laughter, you feel utterly transformed. You take a deep breath, realizing that you have opened a door into families and futures, one no longer anchored by isolation, but rather built upon the collective empowerment of women who dare to unite. That night, as sleep wraps around you, you drift into a blissful realm filled with dreams of possibilities, fueled by the strength and spirit of every woman you have come to know. Their voices intermingling in your heart, guiding you to where the bonds of strength and dreams intertwine, illuminating paths yet to be traversed. Your journey of resilience continues, and as the moments weave together, each heartbeat echoes with a promise. The story of women is far from over. It only grows richer, spreading its roots deeper into a future bathed in light and possibility, harmonized by unity and purpose. The morning light spills into your home, awakening you to the sound of birds chirping outside, each note a gentle reminder of the world waking up anew. Nestled among the blankets, you smile, the warmth of last night's gathering still permeating your heart. Filled with hope and excitement for what lies ahead, you rise to greet the day, ready to consolidate the resolve ignited among friends. As you move through your morning routine, you ponder how to build upon the momentum generated at the gathering. You sip hot tea, the fragrant steam curling around you, and envision the possibilities of future events. With each bubbling idea, you feel a sense of empowerment washing over you, that warm glow you've witnessed in the faces of those around you. After breakfast, you assemble your children, eager to include them in the planning of what's to come. Today, I want us to create some wonderful decorations for the next gathering, you announce, and their eyes widen with enthusiasm. Seeing them so engaged sparks joy within you. You want them to see the impact of their contributions, to learn the value of community, and to recognize the heights of connection that can be reached through creativity. As you head into the garden, you begin gathering materials, vibrant flowers, colorful leaves, and fragrant herbs. Drawing inspiration from nature's palette, you assign each child a specific task, from arranging fresh blooms to weaving strands of greenery through wooden frames. Their laughter rings out like music as they work together, proud of the beauty they are creating. Later that day, you decide to visit Agnes once more, eager to share the latest plans and inspire her to collaborate further. You set out with your children, the sun warming your back, and as you stroll through the village, you enjoy the way conversations flow easily. Small talk with neighbors turns into genuine connections, the spirit of camaraderie pulsating through the air like a gentle rhythm. When you arrive at Agnes's stall, she greets you with a warm smile, her hands still busy arranging pouches filled with herbs. "Hey there, how did the gathering go? Everyone seems to be buzzing with excitement." You recount the magic of the evening, illuminated by every shared moment, laughter, and stories that broke barriers. Agnes's eyes sparkle, her hands pausing in her task. "That's wonderful. I think we are witnessing a real change. This community is awakening. You share your ideas for the next gathering, proposing themed events that delve deeper into women's stories, creating spaces for skill sharing and mentorship. Imagine the possibilities, you say, exhilaration spilling from your lips. We could focus on skills like sewing, basket weaving, or even how to prepare traditional dishes from our heritages. Agnes's eyes gleam with encouragement. Yes, that would be incredible. We can incorporate the children too, creating family-friendly activities. It will pass down our stories to future generations. The two of you brainstorm ideas for different evenings, story nights with themes, cooking demonstrations featuring unique recipes from various cultures, and mini workshops where women can share specialized skills. The collaborative spirit between the two of you feels electric, sparking more ideas as you're drawn deeper into a creative dance, elevating exchanges into realms that seem almost tangible. As the sun dips low in the sky, a captivating hue of orange and pink paints the horizon, illuminating your pathway home. You feel the day's productivity surge through your veins, invigorating you in delightful anticipation for what's to come. The conversation with Agnes has inspired even more dreams, propelling you forth into the vast possibilities that lie ahead. Every afternoon unfolds like colorful threads interwoven into a tapestry, and with each gathering, the network of women continues to expand. You host more events, each one layered with themes and skills, grasping the essence of who you are and who you wish to become within this supportive community. As you gather stories and offer wisdom, watch friendships flourish, see children engage in creative activities, and witness the older women share treasured knowledge, it becomes clear to you. This collective experience isn't merely about sharing skills and stories. It's about claiming space, making it ever more sacred for voices once drowned out by centuries of silence. In these gatherings, you begin to recognize a beautiful transformation. Women who were once hesitant in their expressions now flourish with confidence. You see them channel their experiences into powerful narratives that contribute to the ever-growing tapestry of community life. Each tale shared is like a thread binding them closer, creating unity through common experiences, laughter, and triumph. The days turn into weeks, and as the new moon rises, marking a fresh cycle, your collective gatherings evolve into something even more profound. They become a soapbox of empowerment, encouraging women to advocate for one another and dream bigger than they ever imagined. You are blown away by the ideas that unfurl into social projects, collective efforts addressing local needs, and even groups intent on providing mutual support in tough times. One fateful evening, as you gather around a flickering candle at the latest event, a woman named Elara takes the stage. She stands before the circle, her presence commanding yet vulnerable, and shares not only her crafts, but her journey as a survivor of hardship. Her story resonates deeply, a raw testament to resilience and tenacity. And as she opens the floor for others to speak, you listen in rapt attention. I never believed I could stand here today, sharing my story with all of you, she begins, her voice trembling slightly before it gains strength. Yet here I am, surrounded and uplifted by you. Together, we've built a space that allows us to celebrate our stories, however complex or daunting they may be. Those words hang in the space, glowing like the candles illuminating the circle. And as Elara's tale weaves through your heart, you feel the warmth of connection envelop you. It's nights like these where you realize how vital it is to create these secure dates for women, to connect the lives of individuals and nurture an entire community's soul. As the evening draws to a close and warmth fills the hearts of those present, You reflect on the progress made over time. You see snippets of laughter, shared stories, and knowledge exchanged softly, enveloping the gathering like an intricate dance, fluid and beautiful. There, in the presence of one another, you all begin to paint possibilities of hope and transformation. The flickering candlelight flickers low as women find their voices, every breath inspiring them to flourish, reclaiming the narratives of their lives. It's a beautiful reminder that the strength of community, of shared experiences, is infinitely powerful and unbreakable. Returning home that night, you slip into bed feeling as though you are wrapped in warmth, cradled by the possibilities that lie before you. Dreams begin to flow through your mind, illuminated by warmth, each astounding moment from the gathering's whispering encouragement to rise with renewed purpose each day. In the quiet of the night, as sleep beckons, you hold onto the knowledge that the community you've nurtured is just beginning to bloom, the very beginnings of a fabric rich in resilience and strength. Tomorrow holds even more opportunities, and you can almost hear the stories waiting in the wings, poised to be shared and woven into the vibrant tapestry of life that encompasses you and the extraordinary women alongside you. You drift into a peaceful slumber, knowing that the journey ahead is not only yours, but shared over many shoulders, carrying dreams touched by inspiration and innovation, waiting to unfurl like petals in the sun. Your heart swells with gratitude, a reminder that every step forward is a celebration of sisterhood, growth, and the commitment to lifting each other higher, together. As dawn breaks the next day, you awaken with a sense of serenity filling your heart. The light spills into your room like a warm embrace, drawing you into the promise of a fresh beginning. With the rhythm of laughter and stories lingering from last night's gathering, a sense of motivation courses through you, urging you to take action on the ideas that have been swirling around in your mind. You sit by the window for a brief moment, soaking in the sights and sounds of your village coming to life. Children play in the fields, women tend to gardens, and the market stalls begin to open, revealing colourful wares. This feeling of connection to something greater ignites the spark within you. This is not simply a community. It is a tapestry woven with threads of resilience, creativity, and shared dreams. With renewed purpose, you spring into action. You gather your children and involve them in preparing for upcoming gatherings. That day, inspired by Alara's poignant story, you decide to organize a themed narrative night, Heroines of Our Past. The aim is to celebrate echoing tales of strong women who have come before you, from local legends to ancestral stories passed down through generations. Once breakfast is finished, you and your children brainstorm names of remarkable women, both historic and personal. What about Grandma? Your daughter suggests, her eyes bright with enthusiasm. She always tells the best stories. You nod in agreement, embracing the spark of inspiration as you think of your own grandmother, the woman who inspired your own journey. Grandmothers, mothers, and daughters forge connections through these stories, creating a lineage of strength that deserves to be honored. With a newly formed plan, you head to visit Agnes after breakfast, your heart racing with excitement as fresh ideas bubble to the surface. Upon arriving, you find her at her stall, arranging her herbs. "Agnes, I have another idea to share," you exclaim, the excitement bubbling over. As you outline your vision for the narrative night, the passion in your voice ignites her own. "What a beautiful way to honor the stories of women who paved the way for us," Agnes responds, her face lighting up. "We could invite not only the women of our village, but also those from the neighboring communities. we can create a series of evenings gathering stories from all corners to illustrate the importance of women's histories. You nod enthusiastically, thrilled at the prospect of a collaboration. Together, you begin to plan the logistics. Agnes suggests preparing a special section for food that reflects the cultural backgrounds of the women being honoured, as food always serves as a wonderful connector. You organise the budding list of storytellers, emphasising the importance of every woman's unique contribution, a collective heartbeat in a written tale. The next few days unfold like the petals of a flower blooming in spring. News of the heroines of our past evening spreads through the village, and excitement builds. Women come forward to offer their participation, each adding their voice and experiences. You find yourself immersed in the beauty of women sharing not just stories, but generations of wisdom, flashes of their unique history shining through every word spoken, a connection spun deeper with each shared moment. On the evening of the event, the air hums with anticipation as lanterns are hung and cushions placed in inviting clusters to foster closeness. As your guests arrive, laughter and conversation fill the space, wrapping everyone in a warm embrace. You greet each woman as she enters, welcoming them with open arms and sincere gratitude for their willingness to be part of this collective story sharing. As the gathering begins, you take a moment to reflect on the diversity of stories present, the voices that have shaped the landscape of your community. The stage is set for storytelling, where each tale will not only honor the past, but also inspire and empower the women listening. You know that the stories shared tonight will become threads woven into the tapestry of future gatherings, the foundation of a rich legacy. One by one, women step forward to share their experiences, some recounting personal journeys of strength and survival, while others share the tales of their ancestors who fought against adversity. Each storyteller stands confident, embodying the essence of empowerment as they weave their narratives. You see the faces of your audience light up with connection, resonating with familiar struggles and celebrating moments of triumph. As you listen to a woman recount the story of her grandmother's resilience against the odds, tears prick at the corners of your eyes. In these shared moments of vulnerability, the interconnectedness of women's experiences becomes palpably clear. It is a powerful reminder that these stories are not merely echoes from the past, but are footsteps guiding the present. When it's your turn to share, you feel the warmth of the gathered women enveloping you, their love and encouragement granting you strength. You speak of your own grandmother's legacy, the stories she shared, and how they inspired you. And it's clear from the women leaning in to listen that they are connecting to their own histories, tracing the lines from the past to their present and beyond. As you speak, the room breathes together, a heartbeat synchronized by tales of struggle and empowerment. Your voice steadies as you emphasize the importance of honoring our histories to nurture and inspire future generations. You glance around at the faces illuminated by candlelight, reflecting a tapestry knitted with laughter, tears, and resilience. Once all the stories are shared, you transition into a moment of unity, inviting everyone to reflect on their own journeys, giving pause to the women around them. Each guest holds space for the stories they've just heard and for the women they cherish, in gratitude for the paths illuminated by those who came before them. As the gathering winds down, the energy in the room remains vibrant, charged with connection and shared experiences that have woven themselves into the collective fabric of your community. As you start to pack away the remnants of the gathering, you feel a wave of fulfillment wash over you. This evening has been a celebration, not only of the heroines of the past, but also of every heart that beats in the present, promising more stories to come. In the days following the event, a profound shift sweeps through your community like a gentle breeze. Inspired by the stories shared, women begin to dive deeper into their journeys, exploring their heritage and finding strength in their roots. The spirit of unity grows, and your gatherings now ripple beyond the village, drawing in women from far and wide who resonate with the mission you've kindled. You find yourself planning for more narrative nights, expanding the idea to include workshops on creative writing and storytelling, encouraging the women to document their histories and legacies for the generations to come. This blossoming community cultivates a safe haven, a lighthouse guiding women to share their dreams and truths, weaving their distinctive threads into a larger story. As your children join you in preparations for upcoming gatherings, you watch them flourish in this nurturing environment, a chance for them to learn about resilience and the power of storytelling. With each event, their eyes light up with excitement, allowing them to partake in the same legacy, a story of strength and unity that your grandmother once passed to you. Time flows forward, weaving a rich tapestry of stories among women who continue to uplift one another, who dare to embrace their narratives and forge their futures. You realize that what began as a spark has ignited a flame, one that encompasses not just your community, but every heart that beats alongside yours, transcending boundaries and creating alliances among women everywhere. As sleep envelops you each night, you reflect on the journey that continues to unfold, the narrative ever evolving, with each gathering another chapter filled with laughter, resilience, courage, and hope. You drift into dreams, comforted by the knowledge that the threads of community woven together will always stitch stories into something extraordinary, a shared legacy unraveled through time. In those bones-deep moments of tranquility, you whisper to yourself a promise. This journey of heart and strength will continue, illuminating the paths of countless women, embracing those stories yet to be told. Each voice is an essential part of the greater whole, and as you breathe in the quiet night, a sense of peace washes over you, knowing that the work you've poured into this community will forge bonds that last into eternity. As autumn deepens into winter, you feel the seasons changing, both in nature and within your community. The once vibrant leaves have fallen to the ground, creating a carpet of colors that crunch underfoot, and the air has turned crisp, filled with the potential of fresh beginnings. The gatherings continue to thrive, evolving beautifully as a cornerstone of connection and sanctuary for women near and far. With each event, you watch as your network flourishes, the spark of creativity igniting in those who attend. The stories shared resonate deeply, offering the kind of comfort and strength that propels women towards self-discovery. The idea of community has transformed into an essence of empowerment, a living, breathing tapestry of voices and experiences knitting their narratives together. As the final leaves fall and the first snowflakes begin to dust the village, you find yourself reflecting on how far you've come since your journey began. The silhouettes of women you once barely knew now stand beside you, united in mission, sharing goals, and weaving hopes for a brighter future. It's a tapestry rich with dreams and grounded in the kind of warmth that only shared stories can foster. But today, you've decided to take a step forward even further, considering how you can extend your mission beyond the village, sharing this sense of unity with others who might be experiencing isolation or silence. You envision launching a community newsletter, an avenue to inspire women to share their voices beyond the physical gatherings, reaching into distant hearts. It would celebrate women's stories, and chronicle the events, while acting as a beacon of light for those yearning for connection. With your children happily preoccupied with snowball fights outside, you settle down at your writing desk, a quiet space filled with the spirit of creation. The soft sound of laughter drifts in through the window, mingling with the crispness of the winter air. The warmth emanating from your hearth envelops you, pulling you into a reflective moment. You begin to outline the newsletter, brainstorming what it will entail. Calls for submissions, updates on upcoming workshops, and stories that deserve to be shared. Your heart swells with excitement as you think of the remarkable women whose experiences have not only shaped your own path, but also those of countless others. These stories can illuminate the lives of women near and far, each narrative a thread connecting lives across geographical boundaries. As you gather the necessary materials to create the first edition, the sun begins to set, casting a beautiful glow through your window. You glance outside, where your children tumble in the soft snow, their laughter echoing through the chilled air. It ignites memories of your own childhood, how important it is to foster hope, courage, and connection in every precious moment. The following week, as you compile the first draft of the newsletter, the infectious energy around you permeates every sentence you write. You call out for submissions from everyone in the community, asking your fellow women to contribute stories that highlight their own experiences, wisdom, challenges, and triumphs. Let's illuminate the hidden paths through our shared tales, you encourage. The responses pour in like a flurry of fresh snow, each piece infused with authenticity and passion. Stories of resilience encountered in times of hardship, moments of laughter that bring light even in darkness, and wisdom passed from mother to daughter, dancing through generations. You sense the movement of empowerment bubbling just beneath the surface, waiting to be unveiled. When the newsletter is complete, you handcraft copies for your community, diving into the joy of creation and spreading every precious story across your village like seeds scattered by the wind. You imagine women gathering in their homes, reading these tales late into the night, feeling each heartbeat, each experience echo through their minds. As you deliver the first editions around the village, you observe the impact. Women reading, exchanging thoughts, and sharing stories about what they've just absorbed. They congregate in small circles, engaging in conversations lit by shared experiences, strengthening bonds that, even days ago, felt like personal battles fought alone. With each passing week, the newsletter becomes a beacon of connection and support. Women eagerly submit their own stories, their words becoming threads stitching lives together in a beautiful pattern, radiating strength and resilience. You witness the magic of connection unfold before you. Even those who were once silent now find their voices blossoming like flowers in the warmth of spring. The newsletter soon reaches neighboring towns, drawing in even more women who resonate with your mission. They begin to send their stories and dreams, eager to join the growing network. It's a magical feeling, knowing that you've opened a doorway. Each story, each voice shared becomes a thread that enriches the unfolding tapestry. As winter unfolds into vibrant shades of spring, the newsletters shift along with it, a reflection of the blossoming stories filled with hope and aspirations. You begin to include art, poetry, and practical tips, creating not just a platform for stories, but a celebration of womanhood in all its forms. You and Agnes even consider hosting a festival of voices, an event that encapsulates everything the newsletters have inspired, bringing women both old and new together in a grand celebration of story and song. With every month that passes, your gatherings evolve. The Festival of Voices soon becomes a bright highlight in your community calendar. An event everyone looks forward to, where mothers, daughters, grandmothers and friends come together to share their stories in an atmosphere shimmering with vibrancy. As you prepare for the festival, you can't help but feel a sense of gratitude for all that has transpired. How small dreams have blossomed into grand ideas, connecting women and human experiences in meaningful ways. Your children participate excitedly, helping to create decorations, moving through the festival preparations with a sense of belonging and pride. When the day of the festival finally arrives, your heart races with anticipation. Tents are adorned with colorful fabrics, each section a different theme, including panel discussions, art showcases, and storytelling circles designed to engage everyone in exuberant creativity. As laughter and music fill the air, you see friendships deepen, the sense of unity palpable. You watch as the first wave of women gathers for the main storytelling event, eager to share their narratives. The air is thick with anticipation as stories of love, struggle, humor, and triumph resonate through the gathered souls. Every word a thread that stitches lives together, echoing with applause and cheers. In a moment of pure joy, you step up to the makeshift stage, your heart full as you introduce storytellers who will grace the audience with their tales. As the stories unfold, you feel a connection to each woman whose voice rises to share her truth. The rippling energy of empowerment runs through you. This is what you envisioned all along. A rich tapestry of lives intertwined, a chorus rising in harmony. You close the festival that evening, overwhelmed by the beauty of shared wisdom, the strength of connections forged, and the voices that have harmonized. The crowd cheers, reveling in the magic created by the gathering, as the sun sets behind the hills in brilliant colors, echoing the warmth filling your heart. While the festival settles into a memory, you know that this experience has reshaped the landscape of your community, and each woman's spirit has enriched it even further. The simple act of sharing stories has created a ripple effect, igniting dreams and affirming the importance of connection among women. As you lie in bed that night, the remnants of the day fill your spirit with warmth. You drift into a peaceful sleep, dreaming of the future, the stories yet to be born, and the connections ready to form. You hold on to the knowledge that this journey is far from over, the threads of community only just beginning to interlace into something magnificent. With each heartbeat, you feel the collective rhythm of all the women united, echoing through time, a symphony of strength and resilience, forged in the bonds of sisterhood that knows no bounds. Each new dawn brings with it a tapestry waiting to be woven, sculpted from the narratives built on shared experiences, tenderness, and hope. Tomorrow will unveil even more stories waiting to be told. Threads of possibility awaiting their turn, impatiently ready to unfold. And as you dream, you are reassured that you are not just a writer of your own story, but a nurturer of many, together, endless and ever-growing. As the new season unfolds, the air fills with the sweet fragrance of blooming flowers and the vibrant colors of spring. Each morning, the world seems to awaken with renewed energy, echoing the sense of transformation that permeates your community. With the success of the Festival of Voices still fresh in your mind, you feel a sense of purpose surging within you. You are compelled to keep the momentum alive and allow your network to flourish even more fully than it has to date. You decide to organize a series of monthly gatherings themed around different aspects of womanhood, resilience, and empowerment, each designed to resonate with the ever-expanding circle of women in your community and those beyond. The notion of embracing different skills and honoring various heritages fills you with excitement. You imagine a series of nights where the tapestry of stories continues to grow and evolve. One afternoon, as you gather with your children for a storytelling session at home, you brainstorm ideas for the upcoming gatherings together. They listen attentively as you share your vision, eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. Your son, bubbling with excitement, suggests a storytelling under the stars event where women could gather with blankets to share tales about their families and histories while gazing at the night sky. That sounds perfect, you agree, enthusiasm buoying you. You smile, imagining how the beauty of the stars could weave into the fabric of their stories, inspiring connections and a sense of wonderment among attendees. Once your children are on board, you delve into the planning stage. You reach out to women in your community, inviting them to share their stories curated around themes like resilient roots, dreams and aspirations, and journeys of the heart. You also encourage them to bring their children along, fostering intergenerational connections that will strengthen the bonds within the community. The next few weeks fly by in a beautiful flurry of activity as each gathering falls into place. As you work collaboratively with Agnes and other local artisans, exchanging ideas and sharing stories about their pasts, you see the spirit of empowerment spreading like wildfire. Stories blossom, intertwining their narratives into the fabric of communal life, rich and vibrant. Finally, the evening of storytelling under the stars arrives. You set up blankets and cushions on the grass, the gentle wind brushing against your skin as laughter dances in the air. Excited chatter fills the spaces between women. Children's giggles echo through the night as they chase each other, their joy infectious. As darkness settles in, the stars begin to twinkle overhead, their soft glow creating an ethereal canopy that enhances the magic of the evening. You take a deep breath, feeling the energy of shared anticipation swirl around you, and you gather everyone together, welcoming them to this unique experience. The first storyteller steps forward, a warm smile gracing her face as she begins her tale. Her story evokes laughter from the crowd as she recounts a humorous memory of family gatherings filled with quirky incidents. The atmosphere is electric, and as each story unravels beneath the starlit sky, you notice the women leaning in closer, their faces illuminated not just by candlelight, but by newfound connection and understanding. As the night progresses, tales of strength and resilience resound among the group, a rich tapestry of experiences woven into the night, bringing laughter and tears in equal measure. The voices of mothers and daughters intertwine in heartfelt storytelling, bridging generational gaps, wrapping them in warmth and love. When it's your turn to share, your heart swells with gratitude. Standing before your friends, each face glowing with devotion and support, you draw strength from their collective spirit. You begin to recount the journey that brought you here, not just your own, but the stories of the women who have inspired you along the way. You speak of their strength, their wisdom, and how each voice has contributed to the colorful tapestry of your community. It becomes clear that every story shared is a thread that connects you all, forging unity through shared experiences and triumphs over challenges. You watch as their empathy grows, their laughter sinking with each heartbeat. After the stories have been shared, a moment of silence hangs in the air, filled with reverence and gratitude, as each woman reflects on the night. There's a power in this shared space, a quiet acknowledgement of the interconnectedness that binds you all together like a warm embrace. Eventually, Someone suggests sharing songs, and the energy shifts as voices raise to sing traditional ballads and lullabies, echoing the stories of their ancestors. The crowd joins in. Some voices shy at first, but as more join the chorus, the sound reaches a crescendo that ripples across the gathering. In this moment, as a web of voices envelops you, you realize this is what you sought to cultivate: a safe haven, a family forged through strength, creativity, and the power of shared narratives. Each song sung creates another thread in the fabric of your community, building a deep sense of belonging that will outlast the seasons. As the moon rises high, casting its gentle light over the gathering, you feel the beauty of what you've all built together, a legacy woven with love and support that your children will carry forward, inspired by the stories threaded into their identities. The sense of connection now transcends time, echoing through the ages as a promise of unity and strength. When the night finally wraps itself around everyone like a warm shawl, you conclude the evening with a heartfelt thank you, expressing your gratitude for sharing their hearts and experiences. You invite them to embrace the spirit that has been sewn together tonight as they leave, for every time they feel isolated or alone, to remember that they belong to something deeper, something divine. As you slowly pack up the remnants of the evening, the laughter and joy of shared experiences linger in the air, like the scent of blossoms in the breeze, vivid yet fading as the evening wraps up. As your children drift into light-hearted conversations with new friends, you relish the ease of connection and the beauty of relationships forming right before your eyes. Walking home, the glow of the stars above feels especially inviting, full of potential. Your heart swells with joy and pride at the possibilities already blossoming within your community, the very heart of each woman's journey continuing to unfold as they share narratives and realities that stretch far and wide. That night, as you slip into bed, you hold a treasure trove of memories, thoughts, and inspirations tightly against your heart. You know the path ahead is filled with stories yet to be told, new gatherings waiting to unfold, and dreams longing to awaken. Each dawn will bring fresh beginnings, the very fabric of life, unyielding and beautifully intertwined. In quiet contemplation, you realize that you are only a tiny part of a greater tapestry, one that stretches along the dimensions of time and space, weaving together women who uplift, inspire, and empower. As you drift off to sleep, you embrace that knowledge, grateful for every voice that has contributed to the stories you now share, and excited for the new voices ready to weave themselves into this unbreakable heritage. The night embraces you in its soft arms, whispering promises of adventure and growth, and together, you and the myriad stories of the women before and beside you stand prepared to carve pathways into the tapestry of existence, understanding that each thread vibrates with the strength of resilience, unity, and the beautiful sounds of 1,000 intertwined hearts. As spring gently unfurls into summer, you feel the energy in your community blossom alongside the vibrant flora blooming around you. The air is fragrant with wildflowers, and the warm sun casts golden rays that encourage growth and flourishing. The successes of previous gatherings continue to resonate, generating lively discussions about what's to come next. Inspired by the triumph of storytelling and the connections found in previous gatherings, you feel a calling to delve deeper into the experiences that shape women's lives. You decide to organize a celebration of her stories, an event devoted to women's achievements, one that recognizes not just the stories of struggle, but the stories of success, innovation, and joy that come with embracing one's identity. The announcement spreads like wildfire, igniting excitement throughout the community. You envision a day filled with workshops emphasizing skill building and sharing, but also an opportunity for women to present their accomplishments, projects they have initiated, crafts they have perfected, ambitions they have pursued. You want to showcase the myriad ways women contribute to the community and inspire one another through the celebration of their journeys. You meet with Agnes and other key women in the village to map